dripping. All right, as soon as this recording starts, we're going to get started. All right, it looks like it started on most of your computers, so... Oh, now it's on mine too. All right. Remember, it was like world's saddest chapter on Friday. It like hurt my heart. I don't know if it hurt your guys' heart, but remember, Aaron and Bear set up Chase to make it look like he destroyed the band room, to make it look like, well, he did accidentally end up hurting Joel. Obviously, he hit him in the face, totally on accident though. But Aaron and Bear set him up, and oh, so sad. Last we heard, Chase was like heading off to the office. So now it's chapter 21, Chase Ambrose. We are on page 168. We are getting closer and closer to the end. I know we haven't done a ton of projects throughout the book. I've been trying to finish the book. Then we're going to do a few ending projects, okay? So, like, if you were in my Reading RTI previously, we did lots and lots of questions as we went. Instead, we're going to do more questions at the end. But anyways... yeah, this is like, it's just like so intense, these next few chapters. So, chapter 21, Chase Ambrose. It should be familiar to me, sitting on the chairs outside Dr. Fitzwallace's office with Aaron and Bear, waiting for the axe to fall. Aaron assures me that our butt prints are permanently etched into the seats. I don't remember any of that. But it's accepted fact that the three of us have spent a lot of time here. Aaron settles himself comfortably and grins at me. There's no place like home. I'm not in the mood to grin back. Are you both crazy? What was all that supposed to be about? Bear rolls his eyes. Oh, boo-hoo, the poor Geek Squad. I'm furious. Forget them. What about me? You've just gotten me in a ton of trouble. What about yourselves? You're both going to be kicked off the football team for this. And for what? So you can spray fire extinguishing foam on a bunch of band instruments? Bear keeps smiling. At least we weren't the ones who conked Joel Weber. That was an accident. You think Fitzwallace is going to believe that? Bear retorts. Who's going to back you up? Your video dweebs? I kind of doubt they're your favorite person right now. I'm so upset I can barely come up with the right words. You did this on purpose to frame me. We're supposed to be friends. And you were so dead set on wrecking my life that you don't even care if you went down the drain with me. Aaron's calm. No one's going down the drain. Are you delusional or just stupid? With our reputations, they're going to throw the kitchen sink at us. Community service is something we can only dream about now. We're going to get expelled, and we'd better pray Fitzwallace isn't on the phone with the cops right now. Relax, says Aaron in an undertone. First off, we are friends, and we're not going to let anything bad happen to you. Just stick with us. Agree with everything I say, and we've got this. Are you delusional, I guess? How could there be any way to explain the train wreck in the music room? When the door in the inner office opened, the knobs makes a snap like a gunshot. Then Dr. Fitzwallace is upon us. His rage, all the more terrible because it's ice cold. Honestly, I can't say I blame him. I'm not thrilled about being in trouble, but if any situation ever justified the principal loosing it on 3 students, this is one. He ushers us inside and seats himself while we stand in front of his desk. Well, it's the 3 of you again. I was hoping, he looks at me and shakes his head sadly. All right, let's hear it. Knowing full well it's not going to get me anywhere, I'm about to protest my innocence when Aaron speaks up. I know it looks bad, but we didn't do anything wrong. Bear and I were walking past the band room and we saw smoke coming out from under the door. So we grabbed fire extinguishers and ran inside, spraying. They were shooting some kind of video. They had 1 million lights plugged in. Something must have shorted out and caused a fire. Chase heard the yelling and came in to help, but the video kids attacked us because their project was getting ruined. And somehow Joel Weber hit his head on one of the extinguishers. Okay, so we all know that is a big fat lie, okay? So they're saying, oh, fire. Okay, there was no fire, okay? That's not how the students on the scene describe it. Bear shakes his head understandably. Don't get too hard on them, Dr. Fitzwallace. They're probably just scared of getting in trouble for starting a fire. The frown deepens. None of the teachers smelled smoke. Aaron sighs with relief. Good. We got it in on time. Dr. Fitzwallace shifts his gaze from the 2 of them to me. And that's what happened? This is it. Time for me to shoot down Aaron's ridiculous lie and speak up for my own innocence. Sure, Dr. Fitzwallace will never believe I was framed, but at least I'll have my satisfaction of throwing these 2 guys under the bus, even if I have to go with them. Well, Your principal prompts? To my astonishment, the anger is completely gone from his expression. He's waiting for my answer, and I think I know what he's hoping for. He's rooting for me to go along with Aaron and Bear. Why would a principal want to discipline? Why would a principal want to let three delinquents like us off the hook for such a huge incident? I take an educated guess. It's probably a major hassle to come down hard on students the way he'd have to throw the book at Aaron and Bear and on me. Three sets of unhappy parents, triple the paperwork, school board meetings, maybe court cases, everything triplet. Kate. And my eyes find the photographs on the wall. The two Chase Championships pictures. My dad and me. Losing an Aaron and Bear would probably blow the hurricanes, and it would definitely shut down a possibility of me coming back. So I mumble, yeah. Excuse me? It should be an easy thing to say, but each word sits on my tongue like poison. Yeah. What Aaron said is the way it happened. All right, so Chase knows full well that is not what happened, but he's going along with Aaron and Bear. So, how do you think, just in your brain, how do you think Brendan and Joel are going to take it when they find out that this lie was created? They're going to think that Chase was really maybe a part of it or something. Once again, I said this is like the most intense part of the book. Isabella, do you have a question? No? Okay. Fitzwallace looks almost relieved, and I know I've picked the right answer. Aaron and Bear are both smiling, although they're working hard to keep this celebration inside. They've gotten away with it, and so have I. We're not totally off the hook. We get a bit of a lecture on how we should have called for help or purred the fire alarm before taking matters into our own hands. He tells us we need to be less impulsive and not so rough with our fellow students. Also, we're not allowed to leave on our own. He calls our parents, and they have to pick us up. As we stand in the foyer waiting for our rides, Aaron and Bear are raving about our amazing escape. This just makes me sad because, like, Chase clearly did not choose the right thing to do. Sometimes, even if you have to get in trouble, still the right thing to do is to tell the truth, even if you might get in a little bit of trouble. The truth is always the way to go. Seriously, man, Bear tells Aaron. I've been tap dancing before, but this is filth, like art. Aaron nods. I was afraid Chase was going to mess it up at the end, but our boy came through. Didn't I have to tell you he'd have our back? I don't say anything. What on the inside I'm thinking, it's true. I covered for them. I saw the way to save my own butt, and I took it. And in the process, I wrapped myself in a phony story and got drawn back into the old life. So this is what it looks like. Make trouble, lie, repeat. Luckily, those guys are busy congratulating themselves. They don't notice I'm not adding much to the conversation. Bear gets picked up first, and Aaron. I'm just reflecting that Mom's going to be not going to be thrilled about having to leave work early and come over this when the Ambrose electric truck rattles along the drive. Not Mom, Dad. He's beaming at me like I'm here to present him with a big check with the state lottery. I climb into the passenger seat. What? He reaches over and playfully punches my shoulder. Fitzwallace told me everything. And I read between the lines. Way to go, champ. It wasn't great, Dad. He laughs. You think that's the first time I've ever gotten called like that about you, Aaron and Bear? It's never great. But you got away with it. That's pretty great. So his father is congratulating him on getting away with this lie. Like, that's clearly not a very adult thing to do or responsible thing to do. Landon. Not Landon Rebus, Landon Calgill. I'm going to tell you, you're very behind from Friday. Playing with a spoon in your mouth is not the way to go about things, okay? I almost say not really, but that wouldn't be true. I could easily be buried under a mudslide of pain right now, and I'm not. I can't regret that. What I regret is the way I got so free and clear. Oh, I'm so sad. This next part makes me sad. This whole book is making me sad. When I arrive at school the next morning, Mr. Lowe is waiting for me at my locker. You found out what happened, I concluded. I'll apologize to Brendan, Joel, and Kimmy when I see them at video club. She shakes her head sadly. I'm sorry, Chase. You're not part of the club anymore. Maybe I'm stupid, but that really catches me by surprise. Nobody told you I didn't do anything wrong? Suddenly, there's a bowling ball in my throat, and I can't seem to clear it away. I spoke to the Webbers on the phone last night, she tells me. Joe's okay, but the family's pretty rattled, considering that the injury came from you. What about Brendan? I press. He knows I'm innocent. I had a talk with him too, and he's not sure about your role, but the word innocent never came up. She shoots me a patronizing gaze, and it doesn't help that you backed up the story that your two friends spun about an electrical fire. My heart sinks. She's right about that. I signed on to a lie to save my own skin, but I never thought about how that would look to the video kids. They know there was no fire. They've all been waiting for the old me to show up, and I delivered. So they kicked me out, I say. She shakes her head. The decision was mine. I'm really sorry, Chase. You were doing so well. Warrior's the best middle school project I've ever seen. I think of Shoshana. I can only imagine how mad she must be. Don't worry, Mr. Lowe, I say, surprised at how hard it is to keep my voice steady. I'll stay away. It bugs me. But what really bugs me is how much it bugs me. What do I care about a bunch of video dweebs don't want me in their club? I bring myself up short, video dweebs. That's what Aaron and Bear called them. As upset as I am, I'm not going to stoop low enough to their words. I blame myself for the mess I'm in, but mostly I blame those two. Speaking of Aaron and Bear, they're acting like everything is beyond awesome between us. Funny. I found a way to give them a pass for a lot of rotten stuff, including maybe even stealing a War Heroes medal. But what I can't forgive them for turns out to be something I did all by myself. I protected them because it was a way to protect myself. The cost turned out to be one video club, plus the way I feel every time Aaron and Bear refers to me as our boy. I start taking weird detours through the hall just to avoid running into them. My one consultation is that this is a short day for me. Dad's picking me up at 11 and taking me to an appointment at Dr. Negan's, a sport medicine specialist. At least that spares me lunch at the football table. I won't be eating with the video crowd anytime soon. Is it possible to lose your appetite for an entire school year? I spot Brendan a couple times, but when he sees me, he quickly turns away. I catch a glimpse of Shoshana, scorching me with a look that would melt titanium. I don't think Joel's even at school. So, all of this because Aaron and Bear totally set him up, and now his life is like basically in ruin. His new friends won't even look at him. Joel's probably so hurt he can't even come to school. He's off the video club. He still can't play football. And Aaron and Bear are acting like they did absolutely nothing wrong. So, this would be a thought that maybe Chase shouldn't have taken the easy way out, Maybe he should have been honest. Even though being honest can be hard, it's still the right thing to do. But now he's got to go see this doctor, the specialist guy. Dr. Negan re-enters the exam room and beams at me. Well, young man, I've got good news and better news. The news is you exhibit no lingering concussion symptoms, and you're fit as a fiddle in every way. The better news is I'm signing the medical form authorizing you to return to the football team with no restrictions. Congratulations. Gee, what a surprise. Dad searched and found a doctor who would clear a dead man to go out there and get tackled, and only 60 miles away. As we drove home in the Stang, Dad riles against brain-dead Cooperman, who kept me off the gridiron for no reason. Dr. Cooperman has a diploma from Harvard Medical School in his office. I tell him, I didn't see a diploma on Dr. Negan's wall. Dad snorts into the wheel. Just because he isn't one of those Ivy League snobs doesn't mean he isn't as legit as they come. This is great news, champ. You're back on the team. His brows darken, and maybe those stumbles will start winning again. Stumble bums will start winning again once you're out there. In 3 weeks, I remind him school rules. 1 week of no contact practice and 2 weeks in full pads before I can play in a real game. Just in time for late season playoffs run, Dad. Cordials. I'm not that happy about my triumphant return to football. And it isn't only because Dr. Negan, who would have signed the papers clarifying I was pregnant with triplets if my father had paid him enough. It's not the medical part that bothers me. I know I'm fine. Dr. Cooperman pretty much said so himself. I'm even interested in the game and excited to see if I can be as good as everyone says I used to be. The part I don't like is that football is the old me, and I don't want to be that guy anymore. Look how fast my pre-amnesia instincts kicked in the minute and Aaron and Bear jammed me up yesterday. But really, what choice do I have except the Hurricanes? I'm kicked out of video club and lost every one of my friends I made there. Things are finally turning around for you, champ, my father goes on. But maybe not the way I want them to, I complain. Why? Because a bunch of sissies are ticked off at you? He doesn't understand why the video club thing hurts so much. I'm not sure I understand it myself. It isn't just the kids. Mr. Lowe was the one who kicked me out. Teachers, Dad snorts. They have to slap you on the wrist to make it look like they're in charge. You'll notice you're not banned from the football team, and neither are your buddies, Aaron and Bear. When I played, I had the whole faculty wrapped around my little finger. Sure, they threw the tension every now and then to make it look good, but after the state championship, I called the shots in that school. For the first time, I say it out loud. Aaron and Bear might not be my buddies anymore. Aw, come on, champ. Don't be that way. He beams at me. With that mess with the Weber kid, then the accident, it feels like it took forever to get the old Chase back. Don't tell your mother, but I'm proud of the way you handled Joel. You made a statement, that's for sure. Okay, for the 100th time, his dad is not understanding. It is a complete accident. He did not mean to hit Joel, and his dad is proud of him for hitting him because he thinks he did it on purpose. His dad, totally not my favorite person. His dad is probably my least favorite person in the book. He just seems like a real jerk to me. I don't bother to point out I wasn't making a statement with Joel. It looks more like my buddies Aaron and Bears were making a statement with me, and all it took was a sick imagination and a lot of fire extinguishing foam. By the time I get back to Hiwassee, it's 2:30. No sense bothering to go to school. Dad drops me off at home, making me promise to report to football practice with my newly signed medical form promptly at 4. And I will. Not because I want to, but because I'm too depressed to resist. Unhappiness sucks all the energy out of a guy. Upstairs in my room, I gaze out the window at the shingles of the sloping roof. For a weird instant, I actually remember sitting out there when I wanted to be alone with my thoughts. Or maybe it's not a memory at all, but something I'm imagining because I've been told so many times it's what I used to do. On a wild impulse, I raise the window and swing my leg over the sash. Carefully, really carefully, I crawl out there. I'm expecting to be terrified after what happened. Actually, though, I'm pretty comfortable on the gently sloping shingles. It even feels familiar. Not a flashback exactly. Still, it has come from my lost part. I definitely haven't been here lately. I swore to Mom I'd never go back out on the roof again. But she's at work now, and never is a long time. To my amazement, my body arranges itself into a position I'm told I used to prefer. Butt planted, knees bent, feet flat on the shingles. It's a different kind of memory, muscle memory. Amnesia can't touch it. I understand why I liked it up here. It's peaceful, it's private, the town is all around it, I'm above it. So nothing can reach me. I see the school, the football field. I'll be on in a couple hours. Not far away towards downtown is Portland Street Resident, where Mr. Solvay lives. And there's the park where we film Leaf Man. Just the thought of it brings the bowling ball back into my throat. That's the last time I'm ever going to work on one of Brendan's crazy videos. Dad says the old Chase is back. I wanted that once, but right now the new Chase is a life I'd rather have. And I've lost that too. Oh, poor Chase. He got a new life. He finally is a person he wants to be, and he kind of ruined it by backing up his friends. We have enough time to read chapter 22, Shoshana Weber. I might have been the stupidest person in the history of the world. I get straight A's in school, but obviously that doesn't mean anything. All it proves is I know how to study for a geography test. As a judge of character, I'm an F-. I let that jerk, that alpha rab, dupe me into believing he was different, that he was a nice guy. Well, a leopard never changes his spots. And that goes double for a scheming lowlife like Chase Ambrose falling off the roof, having amnesia. Big deal. It doesn't mean you're not a rotten person today just because you can't remember being one yesterday. I can't even face my poor brother. And not just because his eye looks like it sustained a direct hit from a cannonball. It's all my fault. I'm the one who told my parents that the coast was clear and it was safe for Joel to come home. And I ended up bringing him back into the same line of fire that almost broke his spirits last year. I could kick myself, except for the fact that my toes are pointed in the wrong direction. I can't get anything right. It isn't just that Chase has gone back to his bowling ways. It's that he first convinced everybody he was a new person. And we went for it. Hook, line, sinker. Not just me, but the video club, the teachers, Dr. Fitzwallace, the whole school. That must have been his plan all along, to lure us in to a false sense of security before pouncing one more time. What a plan it was, to ruin Brendan's video, wreck the music room, attack Joel, and blame the whole thing on imaginary fire. Chase was behind it from the very beginning. From the strategy standpoint, you must have to admire it. It sure succeeded with flying colors, and Joel has the colors to prove it. Black and blue, mostly. I wish I could take my video project and flush it down the toilet. I'd rather lose all that time and throw away the best work I've ever done than have anything like my name to Chase Ambrose. Compared to what happened to my brother, the National Video Journalism Contest is about as meaningful as counting snowflakes in a blizzard. That's another reason to hate myself. That I would let my ambition to win a lousy contest make me so blind. I never should have allowed myself to be pushed into partnering with Chase, no matter what Brendan or Mr. Lowe said. I don't care that the project is on a really great and interesting guy. It wouldn't make any difference if we got to interview with the signers of the Declaration of Independence brought back to life and reformed into a boy band. It just isn't worth it. For the smartest kid in school, Brendan's even dumber than I am. He's got it in his thick head that there's a chance Chase might be innocent. I don't know, Shoshana, he insists. It was Aaron and Bear who busted up the chute. Chase had been trying to stop them. Oh, sure, I return. And he just happened to show up at exactly the right moment. He didn't show up, he argues. I sent Kimberly to get him. Joel said you didn't send for Chase. They did. There was a lot going on, he admits. It's hard to remember. I think they sent her first, then I did. Why couldn't you go yourself? Because I was stuck in the tuba, he replies. If it's the most natural thing in the world. Happens to everyone, right? Listen, I tell him. My poor brother has a technicolor face, courtesy of the guy who might be innocent. That might have been an accident, a tug of war with a fire extinguisher. Maybe Chase was trying to protect Joel. I roll my eyes. Let him protect somebody else. When it came time to lie his way out of the blame, he was right there with Aaron and Bear. That's all the proof I need. I know what it looks like, he argues reluctantly, but doesn't Chase deserve the benefit of the doubt? Listen, I challenge. If what you say is true, then Aaron and Bear set him up and nearly got him kicked out of school. And where is he this very minute? At football practice with the same Aaron and Bear who should be his worst enemies. What does that tell you? Well, it's not like he can come to video club anymore. And in the cafeteria, I persist. Who does he eat lunch with? The football team. We won't let him at our table. We're protecting Joel, and that's the real meaning of protection, not cold cracking someone with a fire extinguisher. I'm so mad at that jerk, and you should be too. He's like a cobra. He lured us until he trusted us. Then he struck, and now he's slithering back to his old lies as if nothing ever happened. Joel may be the one who's bleeding, but the attack was on all of us. And he agrees. Brendan knows I'm right. However much he wants to convince himself that Chase is innocent, the whole club knows we're better off without a guy like that. And how come his name keeps popping up again and again in our meetings? Olive, do you need something? Okay. That camera looks a little shaky. You've got to keep it smooth like Chase. Yeah, that's a cool shot. It was Chase's idea to film it worm's eye view. The kid's a mumbler, but you got to hear the audio clearly because Chase lay on the floor and held the microphone just out of frame. Can we please stop talking about Chase Ambrose? I explode. He's not a god. He's just a person, a lousy person. That's it. He belongs on the football team with the other muscleheads. Actually, he belongs chained on a slab of concrete at the bottom of Marina's trench, and I'll take the football team if he gets away from us. Joel has been silent throughout all this. Now he speaks up. Am I the only one who notices that video club has gotten kind of lousy? What are you saying? I demand. He shrugs. Well, we all watched Warrior. It's fantastic. Nobody's doing that kind of work anymore. I'm furious. You think that's because we don't have him? My brother looks at me with his one good eye. Just because I hate Chase Ambrose doesn't mean I fall into pieces every time someone mentions his name. Go ahead. Talk about him. I can handle it. This isn't last year. No matter what, I'm not going to be chased. Get it, Chase? Chased out of town again. We slap him on the back and pound his shoulder. A few of us even cheers. It almost reminds me of a football team, although I'd never admit it. Mr. Lowe gives him a big hug. Maybe I can stop beating myself up for Mom and Dad bringing him home from Milton. The very worst happened and he's okay. I look at my little brother, 14 minutes younger than me. He's growing up. All right, we are going to stop there for the day, but don't get off yet. All right, so Chase is back on the football team. Chase is out of video club. His new friends hate him. His old friends set him up. He hates his old friends, but he kind of has nothing better to do than to hang out with them. And Joel has decided no matter what happened, he is going to stick through it, and he's going to be tough stuff. This will be posted, of course. I will see you guys all in, new ex-friends. I will see you all in reading, guys. We're getting close to the end of the book.